What's up, guys? This is Jeff here. Today is Wednesday, January the 15th, 2025. I do hope everyone is having a wonderful trading day for today. As you guys know, most of the indexes are up for the day, including all of the major indexes, right? Nasdaq is over nearly 2.5%. S&P 500 is over 1.8%. One Dow is also over 1.6%. Russell is also up nearly 2%, which is a great sign. I always talk about how important the Russell's performance to all of the investors like us, right? Not for the institutes investors, but for the retail investors like us. Russell's performance actually giving more confidence than Dow or S&P 500 to the retail investors. As you know, for most of the time, most of us may hold some stocks that belong to Russell 2000. So the reasons behind today's up, I guess everyone has been aware of that. The real inflation data, the CPI, came in before the market started. If we look at headline CPI, which is including every single thing, every single parameters of your life, it's very much in line with the market expectations. However, if we look at the core CPI, which is strongly connected, strongly correlated to Fed reserves indication of inflation, which is core PCE, the core CPI itself is actually lower than market expectations. It's 3.2% for now. The expectations come from the market is 3.3%. So a little lower than expectations. And that reality actually erased somewhat concerns from the market, which they used to have around, at the beginning of 2025, if the inflation goes so quickly up back, plus Trump is gonna take control, White House, Senate, and the House, and then his policies for tariffs overall for economies may continuously impact inflation data negatively, especially in the first half of the year. So Federal Reserve may continue to tighten the monetary policy. For example, the yield may continue to go up even over 5%. So the market used to be afraid of those things happen. But with today's inflation data, even though it's not the real critical one, it's not a real critical change, the market is waiting for, but still it's kind of nice to have, right? Everybody was concerned about, this time CPI would be like going up 3.4% or 3.5%. But then, I think, from today's report, from today's data, the market is pretty happy about having little lower than expectations inflations. And with that, if we look at, the increase percentage, right, we can clearly see Nasdaq as the combination of tech companies goes the highest compared to S&P 500 and Dow. Now, I really hope everyone is enjoying today's session. I hope everyone's account is going up in terms of the money that you gained from today. And talking about the account value, let's go back into our account performance for the day, right? As you can see, we get a little over 1900 as a result of the day in terms of the percentage is 1.27%. I know. It's a little lower than the index's performance. We actually had some days like our performance is stronger than the index. Even the indexes went down sharp. Either our account can stay roughly, the same with previous day's value, or we were able to actually receive some gains when the indexes went down. But today is not one of those days, right? We are actually behind the index performance. We are up 1.27, roughly like 30% of the index's increase for the day. And I will talk about the reasons behind it. But let's look at the positive side first. Of course, the biggest contributor to my account for today's gain is the largest holdings in my account, right? You can see Micron gives us over 1,400 return as the profit. And if we look at Micron's performance for the day, I would say it's actually very strong and stable. Another 6% up as the result of the inflation data, as well as actually some sort of consistent correction from previous trading sessions, right? I talked about Micron a lot. It was hit by its real financial data from its earnings session, but I think there was some sort of the under-evaluation for its earnings. Even though the performance of the stock price went down sharply, I decided to hold it and actually even bought a little more. But then, roughly like 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, Micron issued a new guidance based on their current performance, based on their current prediction of the entire industry. So the stock on that day went up sharp, went up over 10%. And then with the market retreated a little bit, the price went up after that and then continuously went down for several days. Now, today is the day that, going back again. Well, if we see the highest point for the day still not goes over to the highest point that after Micron issued better guidance a couple of weeks ago. So, which means it should be still some kind of space up there for us for the price for the stock, in future could be able to reach, right? So as a result of that thinking, I did not sell any Micron stake during today's trading session, even though it's up pretty strong, nearly 6%. And as I mentioned earlier, if we look at the performance of the stock, of course, we had a quickly going up run in the first half an hour to 1 hour, and then it very stable, basically stabilized around 6% all day long. So not so many, I would say, not so many investors decided to sell their stocks with profit during the day. If we look at the volume today, well, today's volume is a little higher than previous trading sessions, but if we compare today's trading volume to those days that people realized that Micron could under-evaluate themselves in their earnings, and a lot of people coming in and started to buy. I won't really consider today is kind of a big sell-off day. So with all the things that I've said above, continue to hold Micron still in my mind is the best choice, given actually is the largest holding in our account. Another good performance stock is, of course, the China one. It's been the second day the China ETF went up. I would say, even though if you look at yesterday's Hong Kong market and mainland market, it was a little bumpy actually yesterday. But I guess it's just the result of not seeing the real incentive-wise policy at the moment. And I think that would come out very, very close, right? I do have my kind of speculations and expectations that the real incentive policy for the mainland China economy will come out before, latest right after the Chinese New Year. So I just feel this ahead. And for the other stocks, doesn't really change so much. The iron company NUE, which is Nucor, I have been talking about the recent big news for the entire iron and steel industries. There's no follow-up news after that, but keep our eyes on this industry. If we feel compared to current price, is still going to be a great opportunity to see the stock price going up, I may actually consider place another buy maybe at beginning of next week, because just a few days ago, roughly a week ago, we bought some NUE from here. Like, we basically add a little more shares to our account, right? And today, with the basically 1.1% increase, we already making money. from previous buy, right? So sitting comfortably with holding NUE for now, especially some kind of expectations from Trump administration about tightening the kind of tariff and international trade policy specifically for steel and iron industry, giving tougher time to Chinese steel companies exporting their products into U.S. market, and then that will eventually help companies like NUE, like CLF, and American Steel. Then let's on the other side of the story, let's focus on kind of the losers for the day. I won't really call them losers because for some of that they actually had pretty strong performance in the first half of the day. I'm actually talking about LOV, the Love one. As you guys can see, we bought Love the day before yesterday. We add a little bit more. This is the original buy, and this is the second buy. And yesterday the highest point for Love was nearly 5%, very strong. And for today, they also opened very strong with 5% increase. But unfortunately, with today's focus, it's more about monetary policies. It's more about inflation getting erased. So it's more or mainly beneficial to those tech companies. So even with a 5% strong opening of the day, it continuously went down from up 5% to 2% down, which is, of course, a little disappointing. But again, going back to overall this company's performance recently, I think it's very clear uptrend that has been basically placed here. I wouldn't mind if we have the first retreat after like 6-7 consecutive trading days up. If a couple of like correction day, retrace day happened for the rest remaining 2 trading days in this week. If it went down a little bit, I wouldn't actually buying a little more for this stock. When I talk about this company, I said it's a clear trend. There's a very it basically happens every time, right? It's a very strong trend for this stock. If it goes up, it may go up for 3 months straight between one training session and the other, one earning session and the another. So it dropped significantly from previous earning report, continuously went down, but now it's time to going up a little bit for this stock. And given very very long time observation of this stock, my plan for that is really to buy more in future and basically hold them waited for next time earning session. I know, right, from previous earning session, this company launched some sort of weaker than expectations guidance for 2025. However, if you follow this company and if you know the style of this company is very often enough to give you kind of weaker expectations, weaker guidelines, but then their real performance will go over their expectations, go beyond their expectations, and eventually give a very good financial returns to the investors. So, as I said, right, if in the next following trading days in this week, the price may continue to go a little bit more down, and even down to my like original buying point, I wouldn't mind buying a little more. So this is for Love, and the other one I want to talk about is American Airlines. We have been talking about airline business for a long time. Yesterday, with the strong performance from the industry, which is Delta, not yesterday, but last Friday, and then yesterday was another strong retreat day after a losing day at this Monday. All the airline companies basically had their like highest point in the recent 6, 7, 8 months, right? They started the price with the highest point in the past half a year roughly. But then goes a little down, I think it's totally fine, right? Today is just not a kind of the financial figures driven day. It's more about digest of the new inflation data, which is beneficial for the tech company. So it's just very normal and very acceptable kind of against the index's performance, right? Indexes were up and airline companies are a little down. American Airlines is a little down. It's totally fine given where they stand right now, given what's the market focus for today. It's totally fine. As I said, American Airlines will have their new earning release roughly 1 week later, together with United Airlines as well. Delta really kicked off the earnings season strong, and hopefully American Airlines and United Airlines can follow up the trend and keep giving all of the investors very strong performance on their financials. So this is pretty much for today. I fully understand if you guys are a little disappointed that our performance for the day is actually behind the major indexes. But I think everything is fine. We are again goes over 150,000 line, which is the starting point. We are up nearly 1,600. It's just a nice day of the trading day. Really long journey ahead of us for the rest of the year. So let's stay together and see what we can do in terms of making our account going up all the time. With all above, hope everyone enjoyed the trading day again, and I will see you guys tomorrow.